Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Avengers, issue 31, 2023. Oh, really cool there. Kind of fits because we are dealing with Kang here. We are at Legacy issue 797. We are close to issue 800, so we're getting there. Now, this is more of just focusing on Kang and the whole Mirrodin kind of bit. So if you're like, where are the Avengers? This is just kind of linking up and kind of getting us to how Kang did the whole Mirrodin kind of thing. So, let's crack onto this. The Bridge of the King Lear, flagship of the Kang Fleet Lear. Then, I am Kang the Conqueror, and this is the moment when my humiliation became absolute. Laid low once more, as ever, by the Avengers. But to make matters worse, this indignity was engineered by my rival. But not even as his chief aim, no, merely an added benefit in an altogether different scheme. Mirrodin, the Worm. Okay, so we kind of get into this. Now, as I do every time I am suffer a momentary setback, I find some tavern on some planet in some timeline where I've never been before, and I contemplate failure. I find it a useful reorientation technique, to realign myself with the human experience, to remind myself that I am no god, that I am a man. That old fool Petrov understood my philosophy when he wrote, see Timeless 2021 issue 1. A man strives, a man risks, a god does neither of those things. A god commands man, but a man challenges God, and one of those actions is more worthy than the other. I can agree that there. So we see him just sitting there, kind of doing his thing. It's like, all right. And so the Conqueror reminds himself of his humanity, of his membership in that most noble of species, by enacting one of their oldest rituals, getting blind drunk at a bar after a setback. True. I kind of like them digging into Kang like this. It was a moment not unlike this when I resolved to take the missing moment, the Grail, for myself. A similar instance in the cycle of victory and defeat. Conquer followed by downfall, triumph followed by upset. Every time I sought victory, primacy, excellence, but always I was thwarted. Was this all there was for the Conqueror, and had I met my limitations, unable to surpass them? I began to feel my oldest, greatest enemy pacing around my periphery. The one thing I feared more than any Avenger or rival, boredom. Ennui had begun to nip at me. I felt my drive, my passions, slipping from me. And the only way to stave it off was in my desperation, set myself on the course of an even greater adventure, the missing moment, the Grail. So, he was like, I'm getting bored. What should be my next target? Going for the Grail. But then, enter Mirrodin stage left. My rival, the mysterious so-called wizard with a court of superhumans. He exists to confuse, confound, and vex me at every turn. Always steps ahead of me, always with resources to match my own. He seeks the same prize as I, the missing moment, and he makes sport of me in the seeking. For him it is personal, which would imply that I have done him some wrong. But for him it is also a game, and a true vengeance has little time for games. He delights in tormenting me, but to what end? From when I first encountered him aboard my ship, the Prospero, the wizard. And that's when he starts thinking, he's like, ah, shit. And then we go to London, 1612 CE, then, Kang's subjective time. You wish to play the wizard, Master Richards? Prospero? I do indeed, Master Shakespeare. I find within me the urge to tread the boards once more, and your Tempest, the role, it speaks to me. You have always been a most generous sponsor of our company, Master Richards, and your conditions are exceedingly minor. To take up a role when the feeling strikes me, no more than once in a season. And my performances have been well received, have they not? Indeed, Master Richards, but I only mean to say, Nathaniel Prospero is not a villain. Oh? Nathaniel Prospero is not a villain. Oh? In every instance that you have exercised your irregular privilege, it has been in the role of the villain. I cannot have you play Prospero as a villain. It's like, interesting. And I like that it kind of shifts and kind of like close-ups on them. I do enjoy a villain, it is true, but let us cut to the truth of your precious Duke of Milan. He is a conqueror. He turned his great powers to subjugating the island and its inhabitants to his will. He exercised that will to torment and manipulate both his hated enemies and beloved family. Now, I don't particularly like how he cast aside his power at the end, but far be it from me to tell the great Master Shakespeare how to write. Maybe it's because he learned to get rid of that shit, you dumb fucker. ... Just promise me you will not play him too villainous Nathaniel, I make no promises, Will. It's like, yep. I played Prospero as a villain from the pits of hell that night, all those years ago. Will was furious, but unlike him, I knew what it was to be a conqueror. But what does that have to do with Mirrodin? No. No. And of course, then he pieces it together himself, and then goes that route. Yes, of course. And I kind of like him putting on his Kang helmet and then leaving. He's like, alright, let's do this. Mirrodin, Year Zero. Conquer the flagship Caesar. Initiate teleport. Your will is law, Conqueror. Further orders? In good time, flagship Caesar. I am much restored after the peace and quiet, as he's pretty much killed all the people in the bar. It's like, god damn, asshole. A new project has been activated. It is of the highest priority. Assemble for me genesmiths, technologists, sorcerers, experimental augmenters, and bring me my armor. I am Mirrodin, or rather, I will be. Or rather, I am now becoming Mirrodin. It is the only thing that makes sense. I have been manipulating myself. It's like, yeah, as he's like creepily grinning, it's like, holy fucking shit. And then zooming in on that one at a time. The resources, my own. The foreknowledge, my own. The playing of a role, I acted for Shakespeare. Mirrodin, Year 6. In my first encounter with Mirrodin, he set the Twilight Court on me, and so I must manufacture them. My very own superhumans to mirror the Avengers, created at my very great expense. From what I was shown, I know that Artur is the first, a flawed creation, frail of body, but possessed of boundless spirit. Rise, my first knight. Rise and be born. I now see the shape of my own plan, to test my court against the tribulation events, to see if they could be the heroes to overcome them. Your name shall be Artur, my firstborn. You will rule over your fellows, my heroes, born to die. Your name shall be Artur, and your designation shall be the king. And we see him grabbing him from like this bubbling kind of like, looks like lava, but it's like gnarly. And then he just looks fucked up. It's like, what the hell did you do to this dude? He's looking at him. Mirrodin, Year 10. Tribulation event, the fall of the impossible city. Poor performance against the Ashen Combine. Again, as we see his Twilight Court screwed up. And good stapling, no loose pages. Artur, I designated you king, clothed you in the cursed armor of Chthon, and this is how you reward me. Mirrodin, I beg you, save my knights. Oh, I shall. Save your breath. I do not understand. I built all of you to be heroes, imbued you with various fantastic abilities and ancient artifacts, set you up in absurd love triangles and melodramas, doing Shakespearean kind of shit. In short, I recreated the Avengers in you, and it didn't work. However, Artur was pleading for his knights to be saved, which shows that he's not a complete and utter asshole. But every time I send you against a tribulation event, you die, and I have to wind back time and start all over yet again. Because you're just copying, you dumb fuck. You don't understand what makes these people work. And that's your downfall. Mirrodin, Year 11. Glasshouse. My knights, my Twilight Court. They do not recall their many deaths. I tell them that this is their first sortie. You are ready. I have a quest for you. A gift, long awaited, Mirrodin. We chafe under years of training. And dying, like, zooming in on them. I do like how the glass house looks. I mean, that's a really kind of cool base. I feared that the Twilight Court are a failed experiment, but they are still tools with a use. Fuck you. Peace, Artur. You are the oldest of your fellows, but impetuous still. I have chosen for you a base villain to bring to justice. The Twilight Court are not heroes to meet the tribulation events. That honor belongs to the Avengers. And I will manipulate my past self into going to them for aid to set them on the right path. Nathaniel Richards. He has used many names, but none so suit him as the one he has chosen. Kang the Conqueror. To be continued in Timeless 2021, Issue 1. It's like, okay. Linking us up there. Mirrodin, Year 12. 12 years I've waited for this moment. The moment I, Mirrodin, steal from me, Kang, the detailed and full knowledge of the missing moment, of the Grail. For 12 years subjective time, I've been operating on what little knowledge I left myself in this moment, that and the things I lived through. The fall of the impossible city, the long night, 2 tribulation events met by the Avengers and triumphed over. But now the rest of the tribulation events will be revealed to me, knowledge I steal from myself. Anticipation has always been the sweetest seasoning. Grrr! To be continued in Avengers, Issue 10. Nice kind of callback there as he's taking the information. Now this is where it gets interesting, because you're like, okay, we were set up with the tribulation events, but that seemed to have been before we'd gotten the whole One World Under Doom thing. Mirrodin, Year 13. My faith in the Avengers has been shaken. They handled their first 2 tribulation events with their typical elan, but they were utterly incapable of stopping Doom from taking over the world. And this is kind of why we're kind of jumping forward. Also, probably because we're getting to issue 800, so there's a lot of different kind of moving things here. I've hinged this entire scheme, years of my life, on the Avengers rising to the occasion. On them succeeding against impossible odds time and time again, on overcoming tribulation event after tribulation event. But if they failed against Doom, then how can they prevail against the King of Magic, the Cannibal Culture, the Death Moon? No. 3 times I encountered Myrddin, once when the Twilight Court hunted me, once aboard the Impossible City, and the final time after the destruction of Grandmaster's Speculatorum. I think I know now what I must do. I cannot count on the Avengers. I must take matters into my own hands. And this showcases why we're like kind of going off script of what we had before. So I'm like, alright, that makes sense. Myrddin, the final year. Flagship Richard III, the rupture. I've done it. It took me years of subjective time, more pain and blood and humiliation than I would care to admit, and the sacrifice of those poor fools at the Twilight Court, but I've done it. I have forged a path through the missing moment. I've bored a tunnel through reality itself to the Grail. That is beautiful art there to showcase everything kind of going on and just seeing Myrddin on the bridge of the ship. I had been threatened by boredom, by ennui, by a lack of meaning in my life. The same challenges over and over, the same enemies over and over. So I set myself against a new challenge, and reinvented myself as a new enemy. Get that? This universe holds nothing for me anymore. I need a new challenge, and what better place to find one than a new universe? I'm coming back inside. Prepare to take us through the rupture. Conquer. We still don't know if the ship will hold. It will hold, or it won't. We risk, we strive, and if we hold our nerve, we triumph. I have never promised any man in my service anything more or anything less. It's interesting that he was out, well, he wasn't on the bridge, but he was on top of the ship. It's like, that's kind of cool. And coming back in and kind of like going back into the bridge. Yeah. And I like them getting close up on Kang's face there. Well, Myrddin. Shielding at maximum. Engines at maximum. We are about to enter the rupture. Conquer to all points. We do something now that has never been attempted before. But at the same time, we tread the same road that humanity has ever trod in the pursuit of that same goal, made all the more desirable for its elusiveness, greatness. Some of you will die, perhaps all of us will. But we do so at as the ultimate expression of the ambition of our species. It's like, yeah, but you're always like, if I die, I don't give a shit. If I die, I give a shit. If you die, I don't give a shit. The forces of the gravimetric anomaly are off the charts, Conquer. Conquer, the ship is beginning to shake apart. Hold the course. Conquer, we are exiting. Conquer, we are exiting the universe. We are. Hold the course. This is the finest ship of my fleet. There is none other like it in the universe, but still, it shudders and suffers in the gravimetric torment of the rupture. If by some miracle it survives the passage through, there's no chance it will be able to return. I will lose the ship. I will lose men, perhaps all of them, but is of no importance. Of course, because Kang doesn't care. I am Nathaniel Richards. I am Myrddin the Wizard. I am Kang the Conqueror, and I go to my destiny. As everything's blowing up, putting on his Myrddin shit and everything, is like, that's badass. And of course we go. Next, issue 32. The Avengers must unite like never before to defend against the Undying and stop Kang before he resets the universe. It's all building toward Avengers Legacy issue 800. Cool. Of course, showcasing the Avengers issue 5, and Mortal Thor issue 3, and Captain America issue 4. So, I like this for a deep dive of understanding Kang and also Myrddin at the same time. I mean, they're the same person, but this is a different kind of beast with Kang. Kang's like, we get the understanding of him conquering kind of stuff. Myrddin playing the kind of wizard and understanding and trying to get to the game of the Grail. A different kind of questing kind of structure and a different kind of way for him. The art really works out pretty well. We don't really get much action, but I love how the art is able to shift on different kind of perspectives and have change and movement and momentum, even though we really don't have much action going on, except, well, maybe exploding kind of shit. But I really enjoyed this one to deep dive into that and kind of build us up towards issue 800 of the Avengers, and can't wait to see what goes on. Linking it up with Kang as getting kind of to that road is kind of cool, so we'll see what kind of goes on. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.